It's that simple. That's why you can find us on your street, at your favorite spot, in your corner, around the clock, uncovering the news that moves us all and moves our city forward. We've always been here, and we've never been easier to find. CBS Chicago, for the love of Chicago.
Hello, how you doing? Happy Friday. Woo. Happy Friday, happy Friday. Make sure I got everything. Hi. How you doing? You know, it takes a minute for everybody, not a few people that do come in here. Happy Friday, Mr. Croker. How you doing? How you doing? Woo. How's everybody doing? They lighting the Christmas tree downtown. So they say a lot of people is expected, about to be 30,000 people down there or something like that. I know the city better settle my case. Hold on. Hello. Hello. Hello, Miss Rita. How you doing? How you doing? I really don't want to. I'm gonna start probably in about 2 minutes. I'm just trying to. I usually start when people get about when it gets about to 20 people, and then more people start coming. But I like to get at least 20 people so they can get the gist of what I'm talking about, because a lot of people ask me the same questions over and over again when it comes to um, illegal eminent domain, and that is what my family is dealing with. And I think a lot of people don't understand it, or a lot of people refuse to understand it because a lot of people really don't know the Constitution. What I'm dealing with is the violation of the Fifth Amendment, um, which is illegal eminent domain, which is the government knocks down your property, or wants to take your property. Usually it's for a roadway or a railroad or something like that. They're supposed to compensate you. And when it comes to my case, we have yet to be compensated. So I wanted to explain my case and what made me get into this fight. Um, and I felt like Friday night was a perfect night to explain this. So, for the few people that have tuned in to listen, I appreciate it, and I hope that you will learn something, and I hope that people will watch this later. I have realized my what I had yesterday. Yes, a disgrace 50. I had a good show yesterday, and the YouTube still has not uploaded it. So I really don't know what what YouTube is on. But that was a good show, and they still don't have it on. And today is taking a little longer for more people to come, so they probably got my YouTube shadow banned as well, as usual. So I'm probably gonna have to figure out how to do this another way. But for the people who are in here, where I'm about to start. So in 2017, I want to go back to my godfather and his four brothers owned the Sandpiper Lounge that was 7954, 7958 South Halsted Avenue, and they owned it since 1965. They paid it off in 1994. It was under the LaSalle Bank, which LaSalle Bank turned into Bank of America. In 2004, 2005, the city started bothering my godfather Leroy because they wanted that property, because I guess they had plans for that block. At first they told him to go and ask him did he want to switch with the people that own the lot across the street. The people who owned the lot across the street, that used to be Rainbow Push back then. And my godfather said no. That's when the building was still intact. And at the time, the alderman was Terry Peterson. And then from Terry Peterson, it was Latasha Thomas. And when my godfather decided that he did not want to trade the property or give up the property, they came in there and took his liquor license off the wall, so he could not be able to operate his business anymore. From then, my godfather just decided to stay upstairs in one of the apartments. My mother moved back she was living in New York. Once my father passed away, she moved back home to Chicago and got up with Leroy and Leonard. Leonard was still alive at the time. Hello, Mr. Rogers. Leonard was still alive. Leonard was alive at the time as well. And they put this big tax lien on no, not yet, but I'm waiting. I'll look forward to it. But anyway, they put this big tax lien on my godfather's property. It was like $40,000 because they were trying to get it any type of way. So my mother paid the taxes, and my mother said, "Let's put the building in my nonprofit." My mother had just got her stuff for the nonprofit. Now, my mother's nonprofit is called Notre Dame Affordable Housing. My second cousin is Jesse Brown. Jesse Brown is named after the VA. Also, he was Bill Clinton. He was Secretary of Veteran Affairs when Bill Clinton was in office. So she named the nonprofit. It was in honor of him. So the nonprofit was supposed to take care of. Hello, Ms. Parker. It was supposed to take care of veterans and their families. So the nonprofit ended up paying the taxes on the building, and they put the building in my mother's nonprofit. My mother started fixing up the building. She gave them. She spent about $500,000 of her own money. She went and got a blueprints done of what she was going to do with the building. And she went to Latasha Thomas, and Latasha Thomas told her that she didn't want to speak to my mother and she told Leroy to get her out of the office because Latasha Thomas had already decided that she was going to give that property to somebody. And my mother keeps saying it was a person by the name of Quackenbush. Thank you, Miss Parker. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Said that it was a man by the name of Quackenbush. So once my mother decided she was just going to raise the money herself and start doing affordable housing, she's the commercial property at the bottom because that's where the bar was, and then up at the top it was it was four apartments. My godfather was living in one of the apartments. Once Latasha Thomas decided not to run anymore, David Moore decided to be the alderman. He was the alderman over there. My mother went to David Moore, and David Moore was nasty to her as well. Told her that in order for her to do anything, she would have to bring a PowerPoint and all that stuff. He didn't want to work with her either. Mom, I'm trying to figure this out. So, that was that. So my mother again started working on the building herself. Had a dumpster, had everything, fixing everything up. She gets a phone call from the electrician that says, Miss Marsh, the building is not there anymore. And my mother was like, what? No, you can't be serious. And he said, no, Miss Marsh, the building is not here anymore. And from there, my mother went and got a police report. Let's get this police report out. She got a police report. She went and got a police report, and the police report number was 1007-30643. Once she got the police report, she reached out to the city of Chicago to see what was the next step because they just knocked down the building and no one really didn't know what to do. So she ended up going to the law department, city of Chicago law department, and they took about an hour or two because I think they realized that they had messed up. And they probably ended up calling the buildings department, and the buildings department probably told them that they knocked down the wrong building. But of course, nobody wasn't going to say anything. So my mom said she was going to end up getting a lawyer. Oh my God, come on, man! End up getting a lawyer, and when you end up getting we end up going to get a lawyer. Well, she said she's going to go get a lawyer. So, Columbus Day, this was in 2017. December 11, 2017 is when they knocked down the building. My mother reached out to the law department, and the day after Columbus Day in 2018, she received a voicemail from the city law department. I'm gonna let y'all listen to it. Oh wait, hold on. Wait, let me see if you guys can hear. You might not be able to hear if I gotta take it off.
I'm calling from the city of Chicago Law Department. I understand you were trying to get through on over the long weekend. In any event, there are three things you can do if you want money for demolished property. If we're just talking about a little bit of money, the Alderman's Committee on Finance, and I'm surprised your Alderman didn't mention that to you. If this is a more serious problem, and I rather suspect it is, and this happened rather recently, call Anya Delgado. Her direct line is 312-744-5650. She will send out the paperwork for you to apply to the claims division, which is like an insurance division within the city, which will consider the matter. 744 or 312-744-5650. And it's Anya Delgado, but that's her line, so either she'll pick it up or somebody who's doing the same thing that she's doing while she's out to lunch or something. The third route is to file a lawsuit. You can do this pro se, in which case go on down to the to the county building or the Daily Center up on the 6th floor or the 8th floor, depending on how much money you're interested in, and file a lawsuit. Better yet, your attorney, because if you're running this kind of an operation, you've probably got an attorney, and that attorney can tell you what your prospects are. Anyway, that's the information. The Committee on Finance, calling Anya.
So that was from the law department. Her name is Ann. She actually still works at the law department. I just found that out, fast forward. But that was in 2018. So the three options that the City of Chicago Law Department gave my mother was that, well, the two options, because the first option was David Moore was it's all right. We're just going to go ahead and put them out on timeout, and that's it. All right. David Moore was supposed to offer my mother some type of compensation. Every ward gets $1.5 million to do stuff in their ward. And when my mother even reached out to him once the building was knocked down, he did not respond to any of her emails, did not respond to no messages, anything like that. Yes, she had everything she needed. Okay, let me finish. Okay, any questions y'all have? I will answer all the questions afterwards. I have everything, all the paperwork. We're about to get down to it. Yeah, so that's just listen to everything I'm about to say. Okay, because that's the problem with black people. Black people always want to find something wrong. And that is the issue, and that's the problem. Y'all don't do this when it comes to white people. Y'all always do it when it comes to black people, and that's why we can't never get ahead. But my mother kept everything. That's one thing my mother has always kept. But anyway, he gave her the three options. That was from the City of Chicago Law Department. The City of Chicago's Law Department. My mother kept that. My mother kept this since 2018. She didn't have to keep this, but she kept this in 2018. So David Moore was supposed to reach out and offer us some compensation, but of course he didn't do it. And because he did not do that, at the time, the chairman of the committee, the chairman of finance was Ed Burke. You know, Ed Burke is now indicted in jail, now convicted in jail. The second option was for my mother to file a claim. My mother filed the claim with the City of Chicago. This is the claim. Okay. When it was demolished, December 11th, 2017, described how the City of Chicago is self-insured. And at the time, my mother was only asking for $175,000 because she didn't, she just, at the end of the day, she been putting her stuff in here. It was four one bedrooms, commercial property, put all this money in, just paid all these taxes. Like, it should be no issue, no problem, has all the paperwork to show, bang. First letter she gets is October 19th, 2018. Now, mind you, we got this voicemail the second week, Christopher Columbus, I think it was like October 7th, 16th or something like that, 2018. So it says, Dear Notre Dame Affordable Housing, this letter will acknowledge the receipt of your claim filed with the City of Chicago and will further serve to advise you that your claim is subject to a 1-year statute of limitations. The statute will expire on the 1-year anniversary of the loss. In the event prior to that date you fail to resolve or pursue further legal recourse, your ability to do so will forever be lost. Your claim is under investigation and we will be in contact with you upon its completion. Sincerely, Dennis Raphael. Dennis Raphael still works here, but they took him out of the claims division. So he's at home doing stuff because I done put him on blast as well. But that was October 9th, 2018. This is the demolition permit. Okay, this is the demolition permit, and this is where they messed up at, because we weren't supposed to get this. We weren't supposed to get this. This doesn't have anything to do with Miss Jessica. So I don't know what you clearly don't. I don't know what you're talking about. Miss Jessica has her own case. I have my own case. I saw you in there talking crazy in there. You don't even know how. I don't need Judge Joe Brown. I already have. And Judge Joe Brown didn't listen to anything he had to say. So take that weird stuff on to Data with the Dana. Or you can sit here and listen to what I got to say, because me and Miss Jessica's case is totally different. And Miss Jessica did not even, and Judge Joe Brown didn't even listen to Miss Jessica's case because he's going senile. So let's keep it 100. But anyway, this is from the City of Chicago demolition, from the buildings department. Now I'm gonna read it to you. It was a wrecking demolition, permanent wrecking demolition, right? And where they messed up is the owner is the City of Chicago, address 121 North LaSalle Street, right? And it was a rep named who did it, Delta Demolition. It expired 12/31/2017. They knocked it down 12/11/2017. This is what we weren't supposed to get, right? But the issue is, it says the owner is the City of Chicago. The City of Chicago never owned this building. Okay? That's number one. But anyway, December 3rd, 2018, we get a letter back from the claim from the City of Chicago. They say, Dear Charlene Marsh, the office represents the City of Chicago, which is self-insured for general liability. Coverage applicable in the above captioned date of incident. Our principal, the City of Chicago, has requested that we advise you that upon completion of our investigation, they find that they will be unable to assist you with any settlement or damage or cost which you may sustain due to this incident. Our principal regrets that it must decline any claim from this incident. Sincerely, Dennis Raphael. Right. So doesn't give you a reason why, but I know what the reason why in the first letter was that upon completion of the 1 year anniversary loss. So they were saying that they knocked down the building, that the City of Chicago knocked down the building October 11, 2017, and we put the claim in 3 days later after that, right? So okay, what are you talking about? Okay, you gotta get out of here because you kind of weird. You weird. Have a good one. There you go. Cause you weird as hell. You're not even listening to, you just read, I don't even know what you probably sent from somebody. So anyway, the statute of limitations for any insurance claim in the state of Illinois is 2 years. That's number one. Now, when my mother went to get an attorney, right, because the third option was, my mother David Moore didn't do his part. My mother filed the claim. They denied the claim, right? So the third option was get an attorney. My mother's friend went and got my mom an attorney. They were going to represent her. When they reached out, when they decided that they wanted to represent my mom, the city reached out to them and told them, well, this is a letter from the law firm. This is from Gainsburg Law. Dear Miss Marsh, this letter is to advise you that Gainsburg Law and its attorneys, Nicholas Crickman and Nell Gainsburg, cannot represent you in this matter regarding the building demolition. Notice the statute of limitations 1 year from occurrence. The City of Chicago notified us that the building was demolished on October 12, 2017. This may be considered the date of loss. Therefore, you contacted us over 1 year after the demolition passed and after statute of limitations ran. It's any claim against the City of Chicago from this building demolition. However, The argument may be made that the statute it only ran when you had notice of the demolition. The permit was issued for the demolition on December 11th, 2017. You are advised to file a lawsuit against the city as soon as possible to avoid having your claims related to the demolition extinguished due to the statute of limitations. You have 1 year from the occurrence to file a claim in Illinois Civil Court for demolition of your building. Filing a claim with an insurance carrier of the city of Chicago does not toll on the statute of limitations. Additionally, the city of Chicago informed us that the place was on the building regarding demolition on October 6, 2017, and the barricades around the building were placed up in there October 10th, 2017. You may send a Freedom of Information Act to the City of Chicago Building Commissioner for the documents. There was no barricades because my mother was working on it. There was nothing sent that they were demolishing the building because people was working on there. And again, the permit said the owner is the city of Chicago. Not once did we get anything to go to building court, right? Because you go to building court, right? That's how it's supposed to go. So my mother gets an attorney. Finds another attorney. This attorney ends up working with the city, right? And so the city ended up putting in a fraudulent document basically saying that my mother did not own that building because a quick deed was filed and the person who owned that building is nowhere to be found. That's what they said, and they stamped it. But they never recorded the deed because if they recorded that deed, they knew that was a fraudulent act. So that was in 2019, 2020. When they tried to appeal the case, it came back to my mother still losing that case because of these fraudulent documents, right? So fast forward to last year. Last year, my mother goes into the hospital, and I decide to look at the case because it's not making any sense. So I read up on the case, I look up at the case, and then I realize that they say the reason why we lost the case is when you go to federal court is because my mom did not have the deed. We had the deed. The deed was in a trust the whole time. This is the original deed. This is the trust agreement. This is how the deed looked. This building has been in a trust since 1972. Okay? And because it was in there since 1972, the Cook County Record of Deeds after 1980, anything that's 1985 and under, you cannot find it. It's downstairs in a basement. So they wouldn't think that we'd have the deed because they prey on properties and think that you are going to you're going to die, right, or anything like that. So because of that, when this came out that we do have it, and it's been in Chicago Land and Trust the whole time. Now, the city of Chicago don't know what to do because the city of Chicago don't have any paperwork. Because they said that it was that they believe that they put in here because they knock down people property all the time because this is what they do, this is what Chicago do, that they thought that they could put this they thought that they hurry up, put this emergency wrecking permit in, say that the owner is the city of Chicago because when you go look down at Cook County, when you look at the PIN number, it has a quick deed, which at the end of the day, you can have a quick deed because the city of Chicago quick deeds people's properties all the time because that's how they steal them. But they did not, and they don't have the real deed. This deed was in the trust the whole time. So now that the deed was in the trust the whole time, this is the original deed. Now, this ain't no copy. This is not nothing. This is the original deed. The original deed. But because what does the city do? The city been stealing our properties and illegally eminent domaining properties for so long that they have made it with they have say stuff like when I first started going down there last year, and this is a video you can go back and look at last year when I went off on David Moore. David Moore was going in there telling people that the man who was living in there, which was my godfather, did not have a deed. He was squatting in his own building. That's what he was going around telling people. Also, he was telling people that then Marlene Hopkins, a lady who also needs to be fired because she's been in the building department for so long, out here helping people steal out here demolishing properties and stuff off of police powers instead of going to buildings court. She was going around telling people that the building had building violations. And so I was trying to explain to Maurice, who is the aide that works for Brandon Johnson, when he was bringing me the stuff like, oh, they knocked the building down because of building violations. I said, my boy, it could be 10,000 building violations. 10,000 building violations. You cannot knock down somebody's building without going to buildings court. Okay? You have to go to buildings court. You cannot just knock down somebody's building. But because they've been doing it for so long and we do not fight, they have been illegal eminent domaining people's buildings. That is eminent domain. The city cannot just knock your building down and do not take you to buildings court and do not compensate you. But they've done it for so long that this is what they do. So now they done met me, right? And I'm saying it doesn't matter. So before this even happened, when I was protesting outside, when my mother refiled the lawsuit, my mother refiled the lawsuit in New York because it's federal, right? So it's violating the 5th Amendment and the 14th Amendment, our due process. So when my mother first refiled the lawsuit last year, she wanted to take it to New York because she knew that she wasn't going to get a fair case here because they're so corrupt. So when we took it to New York, of course they brought it back because of the jurisdiction. While they found out that we had refiled the case, do you know that somebody, and I don't know who it is, and I'm trying to figure this out, but someone in the city of Chicago contacted a black realtor group that they use and tried to put that land that we have on sale while I was outside protesting because they knew they was going to get in trouble, right? So when they did that, Maurice Robinson reached out to me and he was like, well, why y'all going through all this when your mom's trying to sell the land? I said, what are you talking about? They trying to sell the land. He said, it's on sale right now. I said, are you crazy? I said, what are you talking about? So he gives me the lady's information, right? So I call the lady, I call the realtor, all that. I start going in. What are you doing? She says that someone from the city told her to reach out to my mother, gave her this fraudulent email address. It was Charlene, my mother's name is Charlene Marsh, charlene.mmarsh@outlook.com. This lady said that she's about to move away and she's trying to get rid of all her land and stuff like this. This lady gonna say she talked to my mother, right? And she talked to her from charlene.mmarsh@outlook. I said, you got 24 hours to take this off the MLS list. You got 24 hours to take this off of any list, or you're not going to have your real estate license anymore. And that's what I don't care. And I said, who told you to put this on it? So she wouldn't tell me. So I still don't know who in the city told them to put that land on sale real quick once they found out that we've refiled the lawsuit. Because this time, it's not just my 75-year-old mother and my 80-year-old godfather. It's their 38-year-old daughter, okay? That at this point, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear about a building violation. I don't want to hear about the city did not know. I don't want to hear about nothing. I know y'all put my mother in the hospital. You made my godfather homeless. My godfather had the Sandpiper Lounge since 1965. Everybody on the South Side know about the South Sandpiper Lounge. Everybody been up in the South Sandpiper Lounge, and y'all just put an old man out of business because y'all want that land for some TIF money. Okay, he cashed in his life insurance at 80 in his 70s, trying to save the building. My mother raised the money to get that crazy tax bill off. Put it in her nonprofit. Raised the money to start fixing up her own affordable housing, and then y'all go knock down the building. And y'all think that somebody that's supposed to sit here and not say nothing or do nothing. Okay? And it was for veterans. Okay? So this is when I did not care anymore. Right? So then I started going down there every day. That's how I met Miss Jessica. Okay? I was protesting outside. After that, that's when I met Miss Jessica. Miss Jessica said, start coming inside, Zoe. Start getting on the mic. Start getting on the mic. Start explaining it. Start explaining it. Right? So I'm in there, but I'm not really understanding because I'm just looking at this as this is a violation of the Fifth Amendment. Y'all breaking the Constitution. I'm not looking at it as a race thing. I'm looking at it as y'all are violating the U.S. Constitution. Y'all. This is eminent domain. What are you guys going to do about this? So it didn't hit me until when I was outside protesting. Every black person that went past me has normalized that this is just what the city do. The city just knocks down people's buildings. The city just steals people's property. And you can't do nothing. Every Hispanic that went past me, we got a lawyer. They tried to do that to us. We got it. White person walk past me. Oh, yeah, they'll do that. Yeah, but we get a lawyer. Get a lawyer. They'll take care of it. Asian person walk past me? Oh, yeah, no problem. But every black person that walked past me lost their property. Lost their property, lost their building, and ain't nobody saying nothing, ain't nobody doing nothing. They have normalized this. So I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not playing, right? So my thing is, everybody always talk about how corrupt the city is, how messed up the city is. You can't beat the city. Who can't beat the city? Who can't beat the city? It's 2024. We're not going to continue to do this. It's not. We're not going to continue to do this. Okay? Not on my watch. Not on my watch. I take this whole city down. I'm not playing with nobody. Y'all owe my mother $3 billion. That's how much we suing for. But let's get back to the story. So, we have a lawyer, right, last year. But I'm not trusting nobody, right, because everybody worked with the machine. You know, you can't beat the machine. You can't beat the machine. So I'm going back and forth with our lawyer that we have that's from New York. And I'm explaining to him, like, look, I know you're a civil rights attorney. But these are some weird people in Chicago. This is a different kind of breed in Chicago, okay? You can act like you know what you do, but I'm trying to tell you, these are some weird-ass people in Chicago. They corrupt. They paying people. They'll do whatever. They've paid more to not pay us than... They pay more to fight this case than to pay us. And you know why? You know why? Because once we win this case... Do you know how many other people are going to come behind me? Because now they know that it's violation of the Fifth Amendment and violation of the 14th Amendment, and they are out here stealing property. Out here knocking people's property down for some land so they can build their affordable housing. That you out your mind. So anyway, I fired the lawyer because I'm like, I don't trust nobody. So all summer from 8 o'clock in the morning until 3 p.m., I'm in front of 121 North LaSalle with my 3 things. Here's one of them right here. I wasn't playing. Here's one of them right here. I had 3 of these, okay? I was in there. I had everything on here. The deed. I had everything. The pictures of it. I wasn't playing. I had 3 of these, okay? 3 of these outside of 121 North LaSalle. That's what I was doing. right? And then when I would go home, I would study. I would study the Illinois law. I would study the Illinois Constitution. I would study the U.S. Constitution. I would study the federal demolition laws. I would go up and look up different other stuff. I would just look it up because I'm like, it's no way in the world. It can't be no loophole. It can't be. It became an obsession. It became an obsession because my mother's not gonna lose this case. She's not gonna lose this case, right? So November 1st comes. I'm responding to the motion to dismiss. It's my mom pro se, but I'm responding to the motion to dismiss, all that stuff, all that, asking for discovery, because I know they ain't got nothing. We got everything. I know they ain't got nothing, because because they never denied that they knocked down the building. The city of Chicago never denied that they knocked down the building. They know they knocked down the building. The argument always been in question was who owned the building. Because they said we didn't own the building because we had the deed. And the deed was in a trust the whole time. This original deed, right? So that's what happened, right? So anyway, November 1st, I go in, I speak to the federal judge, right? The judge, my mom doesn't know what to say. My mom asks the judge, can I please bring my daughter up so she can explain, right? So so I go up there and I explain to the judge. I said, she can't get no lawyer, Your Honor. And Miss Jessica was in the back. She was in the courtroom when I was speaking to the federal lawyer. She was in there. I said, Your Honor, she can't get no lawyer. I said, they prey on seniors. They've been stealing our properties for a very long time. They've been stealing black people's property for a very long time, and they've been doing it for a long time. You can't get no help. You can't get no lawyers. They've made it hard. The only people that you could get was Ed Burke and Vidoliak. And at the end of the day, one is on trial at the time, which was Ed Burke was on trial at the time because he just got convicted, and Vidoliak just came home. I said, but these are only two people that you can get. They've been stealing people's property in the name of TIF money. All they do is steal our property. So I'm breaking this down, breaking the whole situation down to the judge and all that stuff, but I'm not an attorney, right? So the judge is listening to me. Judge is listening to everything I'm saying and looking at their lawyer. Their lawyer has no rebuttal because they ain't got no evidence because they knocked down my build. They knocked down my family's building because they thought that it was their building. That's what they say. The owner was the city of Chicago because they went off the quick deed that was in the Cook County, and they feel like, well, if it was a quick deed, then y'all really don't have the original deed because all y'all do is steal property in TIF zones. That was in a TIF zone. That whole block my godfather owns is in a TIF zone. So that's what they were looking at. They were looking at that. So when that situation happens, he was supposed to give us an answer within 140 days of that. And the issue with that was, 140 days from that, he never gave us an answer because our judge was in hopes of us getting an attorney because he knows that this is a good case, but I can't argue this case. It's in my mother's name. I am her daughter. I am not an attorney. I don't have my degree, I don't have my law license. So he waited. While he's waiting, I'm in hopes that I can get some type of media. Dorothy Tucker comes to my house. I'm thinking Dorothy Tucker is going to come to my house. She comes and brings donuts. She says that she's going to take the story. She comes to the house, listens to the story, but her producer tells her, nah, you can't take this story. Right? So we like, damn, I'm just like, damn. Reaching out to other people. They're not letting us take the story. Nobody else not letting us take the story, right? Nobody else don't want to take the story. So I'm like, man. So I'm telling Miss it's always a weirdo. So it's always a weirdo. So anyway, so So I'm, waiting. So I'm telling Miss Jackson, I said, man, we not gonna get no story. I said, ain't nobody gonna take our story in Chicago because they so used to stealing properties here, and they have told them if y'all can if y'all take these stories, y'all will never be able to get any stories from City Hall and stuff like that. So I was like, all right, bet. So I told Ms. Jackson, I said, all we got is these 3 minutes at City Hall. All we got is these 3 minutes at City Hall. I said, I'm going to take, every time we talk, I'm going to take that 3 minutes and I'm going to put it on my social media. I'm just going to put it on my social media. That's all we got. I said, all we got is social media. So take the 3 minutes, do it. That's all we kept doing. While we were doing that, I was like, you know what? I really, I had told, fast forward, back in September when I first seen the mayor at City Hall, City Council, I asked him to help. I said, look, I said, my mother, greetings, Naya. I was like, my mother has all the evidence. Can you please sit down with my mother and my godfather and just look at this stuff and settle the case? I'm telling her that, please just settle the case. Now, he's ignoring me, of course. He ignores everybody. He's ignoring me. So then the second time I see him, I tell him, I said, look, I said, I was in Georgia when they flipped that state. I was in Atlanta when they flipped that state blue. I said, if y'all don't help me, I'm going to flip this state red. Like, I just didn't know what to say. I was just saying anything because I was just pissed off because how could this be a Democratic city? How could this be my mother's hometown? And y'all ain't out here helping. My second cousin is Jesse Brown. He's named after the veteran. The VA hospital is named after him. My mother is a Marsh. My Terry Hillard, the ex-superintendent, that cop superintendent, that's our cousin. So it's just like, my mother knows all of these people. How the hell can we not get any help? This doesn't make any sense, right? So fast forward, we're going back to March of last year, the 3 minutes, still not hearing nothing from the judge. So I'm like, oh God. So in my head, I'm like, you know what? I got to reach out to, I consider, and I mess with Charlemagne. I like Charlemagne. I consider Charlemagne one of my brothers. I met Charlemagne, the God, when I brought Dick Gregory to Breakfast Club in 2016. The Breakfast Club interview with Dick Gregory is because of me. I brought him there. So I've always kept in touch with Charlemagne. After Mr. Gregory passed away, I went on to Atlanta and started working with Killer Mike and his wife, right? So I kept my connections with these people. So I reached out to Charlemagne to explain to him that I cannot get any press in Chicago and they stealing black people's property. Okay? And I was like, this does not make any sense. So he asked me, when do you want to go on? And I said, as soon as possible. I said, because we do not have time. I fired the lawyer that we had because I didn't trust him. I know that we have a good federal judge, but we don't have any representation. I said, I need to get a lawyer. And the best way I probably could get a lawyer is going on the Breakfast Club and explaining this corrupt stuff. So he gave me 30 minutes. I said, he gave me 30 minutes. And I did the Breakfast Club. So people who are here that know me, that's how I got on the Breakfast Club. So I have no problem with Charlemagne. Yes, some of the things that he may say I disagree with, but hey, at the end of the day, that man gave me a platform to be able to explain this situation, and he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to do that at all. And he let me rock out. He let me explain everything. And that right there is that he did more than any other person that I asked for. So yeah, it doesn't matter if he voted blue. Again, I said we may not disagree. That's the beauty of a friendship. That's the beauty of brotherhood and sisterhood. At the end of the day, he could vote for whoever he want to vote for. I voted for whoever I voted for. I still talk to him to this day. We talked about the election. So it doesn't really matter. The overall issue is he saw that this was a problem. He's also been watching me be down there fighting for this. So that's just what it is. All right, Richard Bree, you back. Have a good one. Have a good one, Richard B. You come back every day to get on timeout. Idiot. An idiot. Anyway, so after I did that interview, I ended up getting two lawyers. So I have two lawyers on the case, right? After the interview, a week later, we got an answer from the judge. The judge gave us time to amend the complaint. We amended the complaint and we added Alderman David Moore, because Alderman David Moore did not do what he was supposed to do, with offer us some type of compensation, and he refused to. You're right, Ms. Parker. And he refused to address us. And then the second person we added as a defendant was Marlene Hopkins, because Marlene Hopkins is the reason why people's buildings are being legally demolished in our communities, because all she do is call her favorite demolition crews, and they go out there and knock it down. And she probably gets a kickback for it. That's what I'm starting to think. She gets a kickback for it. Now, she should have got fired when it came to the Little Village explosion. Joe Ferguson, the inspector general at that time, said that she was the reason why it was that explosion happened, and she didn't get in trouble at all. So she should have been fired. But no, our stupid mayor decided to make her the deputy commissioner. Make her the commissioner, head of Department of Buildings, and he fired Matthew Bidet and made her commissioner of Department of Buildings when she should be nowhere near the commissioner of Buildings department. However, she's added to the lawsuit as well. Then we added my godfather for the plaintiff. So my mother's on there, my godfather's on there, the nonprofit is on there. So now, that was in October. So now it's November, and we're still waiting for an answer from the judge, because they did respond with another motion to dismiss. But their motion to dismiss is on the grounds of that the statute of limitations but the statute of limitations don't matter because you continue to do fraud. Okay? It's been fraud after fraud after fraud after fraud after fraud. So the statute of limitations will never start because y'all keep committing fraud. That's number one. Number two is, you guys know that this was illegal eminent domain. Y'all know y'all did not own this. Y'all know that this is a deed. This is the original deed for the Chicago Land and Trust, and y'all don't have anything. Y'all don't have anything at all. Now, let's get to the Sandpiper Lounge. So this was the front of the Sandpiper Lounge. A lot of people may remember the Sandpiper Lounge. Got the other part of the Sandpiper Lounge. This man right here, Obama, when he was a senator, U.S. senator, he was in there, and he announced when he was going to be running for president, right? He was running for announced for president of U.S. Senate.
No, that's what he announced when he was going to run for president.
Yeah, this is what he announced when he was going to be running for president. This is my godfather, Leroy. You've got Al Sharpton, no good Al Sharpton over here. I do not respect Al Sharpton, but Al Sharpton right here. This is one of my godfather's brothers that was working on the building. There goes Obama again, Jesse Jackson Jr., and whoever these women are. These were the blueprints my mother had got for the affordable housing and stuff that she was doing for the building before they decided to knock it down. This is when Reverend Jesse Jackson was asking for personal endorsements for vote March 16, 2004. Oh, for Jesse Jackson Jr. When he was represent 2nd Congressional District. So for that, personal Reverend Jackson Jr. Sr. for, who was this? Who he wanted you to punch for? Oh, Jesse Jackson Jr., 64. Jesse White, Lisa Madigan. He was telling all the people he wanted you to vote for. I might got to use this idea. Kind of smart. This is my Godfather and Bernie Mac. Another picture of the Sandpiper Lounge. This is my handsome Godfather when he was young and one of his brothers. Okay? So, saying that to say, that there wasn't no loopholes in my case. My mother didn't owe back taxes on this. My mother there wasn't no foreclosure. It was paid off, been paid off. They just knocked the building down because they wanted it for TIF money. This, my Godfather owned 10 lots. 10 lots is, the Sandpiper Lounge is 4 lots. 6 more lots is where this Save-A-Lot is. Okay? And that Save-A-Lot is also ours. And we have yet to be compensated for it. They are now turning it into, the Save-A-Lot closed down during COVID. So now they're trying to change it into a Yellow Banana, a government-run grocery store. And they still have yet to compensate us. The Lori Lightfoot gave them $26 million for each Yellow Banana that's going on. Now, maybe about a month and a half ago, previously on my page, you will see me going in there acting a fool into Yellow Banana. And one of the things that one of the ladies had said when they called the police, but the police didn't do anything, called the police, was to go get Father Flager. So Father Flager has something to do with this as well, but I haven't been able to really go in on him and really figure that out because I got this that I'm dealing with. So that is my fight. My fight is, and that's why I got into this fight. I have everything to show. We were never supposed to get this. This was the demolition permit that they paid $500 for. They paid $500 to demolish this property. $500 to demolish this property right here. Because the city of Chicago thought they owned it. Because that's how Marlene Hopkins make her money on the side. She gets kickbacks too. Every building they knock down, they probably giving her $500, $600, $700, $1,000 for each one. And she's been doing it for so long that she got comfortable. And all she says is, "Oh, we had to knock it down because of building violations." Okay, so you don't go to buildings court. You just knock it down. Oh, police powers. Police powers. What police powers? What police powers, Marlene Hopkins? You still got to go to buildings court. You cannot knock down somebody's building. And it's to the point that some of them aldermen think that you could do that. Some of them aldermen also think that you could do that. They have told me, well, so, you can't knock down the building. No, you can't. And if you're okay with them knocking down buildings in your ward, you should go to jail. You should go to jail because you just letting them knock down buildings that people own without going to buildings court. Or for y'all to say that the city of Chicago owned a building, the fact that the city of Chicago owned a building that everybody knew except the Sandpiper Lounge. Everybody knew about the Sandpiper Lounge on the South Side. Why would the city of Chicago ever think that they own that building? Why? What made you feel that confident? Latasha Thomas, Terry Peterson, David Moore, Father Flager, that y'all would ever think, Marlene Hopkins, that y'all would ever think that was that comfortable for y'all to say, yeah, just put the city of Chicago on the Sandpiper Lounge. Just knock it down. They ain't gonna do nothing. They ain't got nothing to prove it. That's how crazy and corrupt the city is. Father Flager, everything that's over there in Auburn Grisham, when it comes to all that stuff, he got in it. He in it. But because so many people praise that creep, so many people praise that fraudulent priest, and because he's a white man, and people be so scared and be bowing down to that piece of crap, that nobody don't say nothing to him. When he is a part of a lot of this stuff that's going on, he part of the machine too, the corrupt machine, Father Flager. I look at all this stuff my mother was going to do. Elevators. You know how much she paid to go get all this? My mother's still alive. I don't need to know. I'm on everything, but my mother's here. My godfather's still here. They still here. We here. They're still here. My mother right here talking to me. I mean, over here, but she right here. Yeah. My mother just is not going to be in this fight. That was one of the things that pissed me off about Monique Scott. Monique Scott would say stupid shit like, your mother need to come down here. Why would my mother come down here? What does she need to come down here for? Y'all not going to do nothing. I've been down here for a year. Y'all not going to do anything. But because me and Miss Jackson asked for them to stand behind us for a press conference, that's the only thing they could think of. You need to have your mother there. Monique Scott, you don't do nothing for your ward. Okay? You're just grandfathered in, or because your brother was over there. Now he's a commissioner. He's probably not going to do shit. And you still not doing nothing. Y'all think because y'all can go out and do turkey drives or give out gift cards once in a while, or go have a police officer say hi to everybody, that's you being a great alder person. No, you suck. Each and every one of y'all in there, the disgrace 50. So who told you go talk to Brandon about your mom's property? Miss Jackson and them, they told me to go inside. He knows about the property. He knows. I've explained to him. I've confronted him plenty of times. But last week we saw, last Tuesday, Walter Burnett came over to me because my mother is friends with Jesse White, and my mother been asking Jesse White for the last 5 years to get involved. But all he want to do is just show us his 1991 tumbling commercial that he did with Pepsi, and he want to act like he's senile every once in a while. Boy, if you don't call Governor Pritzker or call somebody and tell them to pay my mother, I'm not going to keep coming over here while you show us you tumbling. Great that you still tumble at 88. Great, I'm happy. But they still, but I'm not gonna keep coming over here. And I had to tell him that last year. I walked into his office with my "Make Chicago Great Again" hat. He looked up. He gonna say, "Is that a MAGA hat?" I said, "No. It says Make Chicago Great Again because Chicago is some trash, Jesse Whites." Okay, but anyway, he was at an event. So my mother's not talking to him. He been calling my mother. My mother refused to answer his call because ain't nobody playing with you, Jesse White. You know, you part of the machine. You was playing with them deeds too when you used to be up there with the deeds. So you know exactly what they do. But anyway, gotta get this person out of here. Anyway, they were at some event with him, with Brandon Johnson, and Walter Burnett said that Jesse White went over to him and said, "What are you doing about Charlene's case?" And he said that it is with the law department. So I don't know if that is we are going to settle her case or he's just telling Jesse White like it's with the law department. Settle my case, Brandon Johnson. Tell Mary Richardson Lowry, your corporate counsel that you picked to settle my case. So that's what needs to happen. So that is my case. That's my overall issue. That's my fight. That's why I'm fighting down there. But however, since I'm fighting, I also see that they're doing this to other people as well. Ms. Jackson's case is different from mine when it comes to the probate and stuff. But the overall issue is they're trying to take her property as well. And then I'm dealing with other people that they're trying to take their property in some type of way. You know, in the city of Harvey, I posted something earlier today. Mr. Poole is 89 years old. Dude walked up and hit him in the eye. Who? Who in the eye? But when what was I gonna say? I ain't got me all messed up. But yeah, Mr. Poole, 89. Oh yeah, Burnett. I can see that. But so Mr. Poole, 89 years old. They're trying to put a retention pond there. You know, this whole situation with the retention pond. They're trying to get him to move. He's 89 years old. Why are you trying to displace this 89-year-old man who's been living there for a long time? You know, it's just crazy. I got to see the video. He got hit in the eye. Definitely got to see that. Yeah, Harvey's a whole nother thing. So I'm just saying they're trying the issue is they're moving people out of the city. They're trying to displace us for this affordable housing. And that's the situation with probate though, Keith. Illinois has a law, right? As soon as the person passes away, it goes into probate. Whatever you have, home, whatever goes into probate. Real estate, you have real estate, it goes into probate for 6 months. The situation with Miss Jessica is it's been in probate for almost 7 years. Okay, and now they done put it up to public administration because they want her property because it's in South Shore, and she keeps paying these taxes, and they still have yet to give her deed. That is a problem because it's trying to steal her property, and you can't get no help. You know, so that's it. You know, and people don't understand. There was a man that I had to put on timeout because he wasn't understanding. Ms. Jackson was on Judge Joe Brown, Dana with Data or whatever yesterday, and Judge Joe Brown was on there. It's off now, but Judge Joe Brown wasn't trying to hear nothing she was saying because he, you know, they always try to find a loophole in something instead of just listening and saying that, hey, it's no loophole. That's why I had to that's why I had to put that nigga on put that man on timeout. Because you're gonna sit here and listen to my thing. You're not gonna, first of all, you're never gonna compare my case to anybody else's. That's number one. Number two is Judge Joe Brown, never even listened to my case. Number three is I know my case. and he overtalks people. He would not let her talk at all. It was embarrassing on his behalf because that's why you're not on air right now. It's giving miserable. It's giving miserable. It's giving weird. Even when he was calling Kamala Harris all them BITCHESs, all them HOESs, like, boy, you was too mad that she ain't give you none because it was getting real weird. Okay, we understand that she was Willie Brown Peace and all that, but you was taking it real personal. And so that's because he was having a little dementia moment. So that's his issue. However, when it comes to my issue, it's straight up corruption. Miss Jessica's straight up corruption. The situation that's happening with Harvey, straight up corruption. And probably plenty of other people who are dealing with property issues. Christiana Powell, the situation that happened with her, with them taking her house. That's just what they do. And you can't get any help. There's some organizations like the Stop organization that I do not trust. There's another organization that I do not trust. They are helping their properties they don't want to do nothing. How can I get in touch with y'all? You can email me at leezo23@gmail.com. It's all in my stuff. But yeah, so that is my story. And that's why I continue to fight. And I'm going to continue to fight because it needs to be some type of legislation. And if it ain't going to be, and if you're not going to get any legislation, then they're going to continue to do this. Today I was on a call with old ass Bob Floretti and some other people on that call. But Bob Floretti pissed me off because Bob Floretti's still part of the machine. And Bob Floretti still trying to be out here trying to run for stuff, knowing that he don't care about black people either, even though he switched to be a Republican and all that stuff. Anyway, he's on this call, right? There's a whole bunch of other white people on this call too, because they see the momentum that me and Miss Jessica did with the city of Chicago, right? And that it's hopefully that we can win, okay? We can go red. How about you go to sleep? How about you go to sleep 24 hours? How about that? But anyway, one of the things that some of the people on the call asked was, what can they help with, as far as to keep the momentum going? So Ms. Jessica says, press, the Republicans got to stand with us, in Chicago, whatever. Because my thing is, we could get Black Chicago to come out and vote for us. You understand? Like if I can run as a Republican, I know that I can win. You understand? So, I know Ms. Jessica run as a Republican. She can win. We know this stuff. But if you want us to help endorse y'all white candidates, y'all gonna have to stand with us. That's how that works. So I don't know why they just like that. But anyway, he interrupts Miss he interrupts Miss Jessica and says, I advise you, I understand y'all the situation with your property and stuff. I advise you to go down to city council and find George Blakemore. To find George Blakemore, that's the advice you got to give us. You are a civil rights attorney. That's not one. Let's get that. You are a civil rights attorney. That's Bob Ferretti. Okay. Number two is the only reason why Chicago made some noise with the Republican Party is because of Miss Jessica and I. Okay. And some others, but Miss Jessica and I. Okay. We was down there faithfully. We know George Blakemore. We know exactly who George Blakemore is. What is you talking about? But anyway, that's what he said, right? So he got off the phone, and so we were telling the people on the phone, Don't put that on. We done. Don't bring him nowhere near us. We're not gonna. I don't want to be around him or anything like that because he is a racist. Okay, I don't care what nobody's saying. I don't want to be around nobody like that. Get away from me. Get that old, goofy, weird man away from me. Barely can talk. You know, you're glad that you survived throat cancer, but you really, it's given, get away from me, okay? So, and it's given that you're a racist. And clearly you don't even know who we are. They invited us to the phone call, and you gonna sit here, we talking about our issues, your problems. You want us to help endorse because you need that black vote. Oh my God. Yo! Ma, they said Mr. Blakemore was caught stealing rental assistant money with an alderman. He tried to tear up the office when he got caught. Who the alderman? Who's the alderman? I was told my official worker, I am sorry, you and your dad have been targeted. Oh, okay. No, I didn't know. Woo! That is funny. But anyway, that's what he told us to go see. That weirdo. Now I already knew it was something weird. I already knew it was something wrong with him. Now I've done cursed out. I don't even rock with George Blakemore because George Blakemore is a reject. Okay, George Blakemore, and I don't care what nobody say. Go back and tell him I don't care. I realized that George Blakemore is either getting paid to be down there acting a fool, or he always inspired to be a politician and never made it there. So all he could do is be right there. So we don't even rock with. I don't even rock with him. I have nothing to say with him. I do got a painting of his, but he's a reject, and I knew that. However, that is what Bob Ferretti told us, right? He told us to tell. He knows everybody's business. Oh yeah. He's a plant. He's something. He knows too much, and it's all weird. And I believe that he's frustrated because he's down there to get people to stop coming down there, right? And we continue to keep coming down there. And it's frustrating. Whoever he works for, it was frustrating them. And he started to take it out on us. His real side started coming out because he's down there to get people to not come back down there because he's belligerent. He's weird. He's undercover in the closet. You know, he's an attention whore. You know, he's not down there because he's really for the people. He's down there because he's probably paid to be down there. So that is a thing, and right. And he likes to talk about people and tell people's business and all that weird stuff down there. But anyway, that's me. I don't know when it comes to Miss Jessica or anybody else, but that's how I feel about him. I don't rock with George Blakemore. George Blakemore is a fake and a phony old man, and I've been told him this plenty of times. I don't rock with him. He's weird, and I believe that he is a plant. Yeah. He knows too much about a lot of people that he should know. He knew Miss Jackson's maiden name, and Miss Jackson don't even use. No, he knew Miss Jackson's married name, and Miss Jackson don't even use her married name. He that slipped up in the beginning when there's something wrong with him. He ain't all the way there. So yeah, I don't rock with him at all. I don't rock with George Blakemore at all. So, and he already knows that I will curse him out in a heartbeat. I will tell him about himself. He weird. So yeah, I don't rock with him at all. And he's a distraction, and he's mad because whatever he is supposed to be down there as a distraction, it didn't work for me, and it didn't work for anybody else. 'Cause I've been arrested down there, He was trying to go around telling people I didn't get arrested. He's telling people I was in Jackson Park. He was telling people that I'm out there, I'm a plant and all this stuff. He just weird. So I don't rock with him at all. I don't rock with him at all. And that's how I feel about him. So yeah, he can't say nothing to me. I don't say nothing to him. And there's a lot of people that's down there that's like that. But because I'm down there fighting for justice, I'm down there fighting for my mother, I'm down there because I have a real legitimate case, there's nothing that's going to stop me. So I don't care what he says because I will embarrass him on that mic. And that's what I've told him. I said, you got one more time to say something to me, I will take my 3 minutes and dedicate it to your weird ass. I don't answer my chat when you say politics about what? You know it's about politics. But when you start acting stupid, then I ignore it. That's why. But yeah, that's how I feel about that. That's on George Blakemore. Yeah, so that's why I don't rock with him. Anytime it's like, say the news or stuff wanted to come and have a couple of times the newspaper came over to ask a question or wanted to say something, he'll get real loud so you can't hear the question or anything like that. You know, like he just is just always weird. You understand? He's getting paid to be down there. He's getting paid to be up there. Yes, I was here. When my live is done, it was talking about property, eminent domain. That's what I was talking about in politics. But then right now it's politics. So yeah. And that is what the city of Chicago does. It inserts people like a George Blakemore, to distract you and stuff like that. And people, there's people that don't come back. You understand? They don't come back, and they don't come back because they can't hear the meeting. Or, yes, the mayor is absolutely terrible here. Absolutely. The worst mayor of all times. Everybody knows that. Terrible mayor. Sucks. Terrible. He knows he's terrible. His mama knows he's terrible. His father knows he's terrible. His wife knows he's terrible. His children know he's terrible. Everybody knows he's terrible. He's terrible. 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 A loser and terrible. But yeah, and that's what I'm learning. Yes, extremely annoying. Imagine you sitting there trying to really, really, really look at what's going on. You really trying to hear what they're saying. They're out here talking about the city, and this man loud the whole time. And he do that on purpose so you don't come back. My mother went to a few meetings, and my mother decided never to come back because you can't hear the meeting. So yeah, and I think me and Miss Jessica caught on. Some other people are down there caught on, and they was trying to do divide us and make us mad at the police, and they got mad because we don't have beef with the police. So it's just always a distraction. Yeah, Eric. Yep, Mayor Kellogg was terrible too. But I don't think Kellogg is just as bad as Christopher Clark. Yes, that's Dick Gregory picture in the back. Thank you for the $2. Thank you for the $2. Yep. The man in the back. Let me see. Yep, there you go. There you go. That's my man. He got my back. He got my back. He got my back. So, yeah. Christopher Clark is terrible, too. I'm going to be running a story on him next week. It's dedicated to Harvey and Christopher Clark. Christopher Clark is a criminal. Christopher Clark is selling out the people of Harvey and with the help of water reclamation, Metropolitan Water Reclamation. A true king. Yes, a true king that also explain to me how corrupt Chicago is. Everybody know how corrupt Chicago is. Okay? And and people don't want you to go up against Chicago. Old Chicago mad. Old Chicago is mad that young Chicago is coming in telling business. Okay? Because see, we're not supposed to know these things. That's why I said I would love to know everything about George Blakemore. So I really could tell that little old man to please don't say nothing to me. Because I know that you're a reject politician. You probably was trying to get in there with Harold Washington and them, and Harold Washington told you, go ahead somewhere, get out of here, and you ain't been the same since. All right, well, guess what? You already going to be on timeout. Ha ha. Got you. Got your old snaps? You ain't got nothing else to say. Can't say nothing now. First black man to run for president. Yup. And a lot of people, I was watching this documentary, a lot of people voted for him. However, he really wasn't pushing like they say he wanted to be the president, so they didn't know if he was serious or not. But, yes. Yes, the disgrace 50 is crazy. I really need to know. Oh, my God, please tell me he was stealing that rental assistance money. Please tell me who was the alderman he was stealing that rental assistance money from. Oh, my God. Woo! You made my night. That made my night. Because I'm like, oh, man. Because he loved to talk about everybody else. He loved to tell everybody else business. Love to do this. Love to do that. Please. Please. With your old ass. Oh, my God. He is a gossiper. I'm an attention whore. I'm an attention whore. What straight man calls himself an attention whore? Boy, if you don't come out the closet, it's your gay self. That's what he's mad about too. Because I tell him. I said, that's what you're really mad at. You're really mad because you're gay and you're still in the closet. Come on out. Come out. Come out. I remember one time, come on out. Come on out. It's okay. $4,000 on a light bill. A true queen, Lionel. The queen of the queen. I mean, can't get any queenier than him. I said, there's no straight man ever on earth going to call themselves an attention whore. Only him. Weirdo. He know everything. Everything. If I'm not on, if I remember I was off, I was suspended for a minute off of Twitter for a minute. He knew that. He knows everything. He keeps, it's so weird. It's like somebody keeps tabs on me for him. I like that. I want to tell you, you better take a picture. Let me see that. I like that. Yes. Me too. I mean, yes. You know a gay when you see a gay. And he is gay. Yeah. I'm like, ain't nobody. I was telling a couple of people, I was like, he gay as hell. They like, not Mr. Blakemore. I said, George Blakemore, the attention whore, is gay. He's one of the first gays in America. Okay? Yes. Absolutely. Harvey Milk gay. Okay? Harvey Milk. Okay? He was voguing in New York. Okay? Gay. Okay? Please. And the way he talk about his mother, oh my God, he's so disrespectful. Like, that man, I don't want to have nothing to do with him. He a weirdo. Moving out is not the issue. That didn't death of my dad and me. Yeah, well, let me know. Just send me an email, you can explain it, or you call me too. But yeah, but enough about him. But please let me know about that rental assistance, though. I definitely need to know about that. Please, you made my night with that. I cannot wait. I want to get off right now so y'all can tell me who it is. Oh my God. Anyway, because he going out telling everybody business like he is this almighty person, and then Bob Ferretti gonna tell us to go down there and talk to him about our housing crisis. Bob Ferretti don't even say nothing to me ever again in life. Yeah, we got this. We know how to do this. We're going to revamp the whole Chicago Republican Party. We know exactly what to do. We know how to do this. We're going to move how we move. We broke the machine, and that is that. Okay, the city of Chicago owe my family. Now, my mother is suing for $3 billion. Now, we going to settle into, something reasonable. But I do want them to give me I want them to build that building back up with that TIF money. So that money's separate from what y'all gonna settle with. That's number one. Number two is, matter of fact, I just feel like they need to give me the whole South Side. They give me the whole South Side and give my mother her money for the settlement. I'll take care of the South Side. And that's just real. Okay, give us South Side. We'll take care of the South Side. We'll build the South Side back up. We'll do everything we need to do with the South Side. We'll get those aldermen out there and put real aldermen in there. We'll have what we got. We're going to have the GDs and the Vice Lords and the Panthers and all them going to take care of and secure everything. We'll do all that. We'll get a few black police officers that rocking with us. We'll get some retired police officers, bring them back. That was for the cause, and do all we need to do, okay? That's how we're going to do. Today, oh yeah, one thing I gotta say about Trump today. Did you hear about they threw out his charge, and definitely they're not gonna do anything with that. He's good to go. I was talking about that yesterday about Alvin Bragg still trying to charge him, but today the judge denied it. So my man is good to go. January 20th, he will be in office. When he get out of office, he will not be charged with anything, and that's that. I don't think he's a convicted felon anymore. I don't think they can call him a convicted felon anymore. So a win for Trump is a win for us, and that's it. Like I said, I respect that man, Trump, because he showed you how rigged the system was, and he also showed you the power of the people's votes. And that is what we're going to do in Chicago, the power of the people's vote. Okay? He's going to pardon everybody. I know I'm going to ask him, and I'm going to ask him and put this in part of the Freedman package to give to him, because I'm working on a Freedman package for us, guys. Free Larry Hoover, free Jeff Fort, free Asada. Please, pardon them. Okay, let me tell you, he pardoned Larry Hoover and Jeff Fort. The Chicago machine gonna be so mad. The rest of the little machine that's still working, woo, they gonna be mad. Yes, Miss Carla, I almost got it finished. I'll send you a copy of what I got working on. Feel free. I'll send it to I'll send it to the other people. Oh yeah, I gotta send it to you. I'm gonna send it to you. Feel free. Want to change something around and stuff like that. And because we're planning our trip to DC to start lobbying and talking to these people, because that is what we need to do. We don't lobby. So we are going to lobby. We're going to have some black lobbyists, and we are going to get down with that, because we are coming with the stuff that we need on the federal level, to the state level, to the local level. I am not playing this time. I'm not waiting until the last minute. I'm not waiting until no. We're going to get it in right now. Right now. So yes, that's my Trump. There you go, Jamie. So yeah, win for that. Today is Friday too. I know he's happy. Oh, and as you see, Matt Gaetz is out. Now he has the former attorney general that was in Florida. She's got everything that we need. She was Attorney General for 2 terms. Pamela, I think her name's Pamela. Attorney General for two terms. She worked on his first impeachment case. She also worked on a couple of other things for Trump. He also, when Trump had a college, I didn't know he Trump had a university, and there was some things with the university. It failed, of course, but it was some things with the university, and she was his lawyer on that as well. And I'm not saying, of course, in a weird way, not in a bad way, but I'm starting to see like it must take a lot to get a school running or a university running, because Kanye's school failed. Trump University failed. Dr. Umar, I don't even know where that school is. So it must take a lot to get a school together, So because a lot of people always be like, let's start a school, but then the school thing don't ever happen. So I don't know. Maybe homeschool first, or Oprah's school failed. So I don't know. Maybe it's because the celebrities is the reason why they fail, or I don't know. But I just know that the schools don't never work out. The Gregory is the realest. Oh, you know what? That's a good. I don't know, Carla. I don't know. I gotta look that up. That's a good question. I wonder if the Department of Education makes it hard. Yeah, I'm gonna look that up. That's real good. Yeah, that's definitely a good question. Yeah, because it doesn't make any sense. All of these schools. So yeah, that could be because the public schools are failing us. So I don't understand. You like to learn about Dick Gregory? I'm gonna do a lie about Dick Gregory. It's gonna be a funny lie. Because I got the curse outs. Woo! He cursed me out. So, yes. Yeah. I will do one. I might do one next week. Thank you. That's a good idea. Yeah. I spent 4 years with Mr. Gregory. 4 great years with Mr. Gregory. Mr. Gregory taught me so much, and that is why I am not scared to be out here fighting. And when I feel any type of doubts, I just be like, what would Dick Gregory do? And I think about him in all the movements. He even got shot in the leg in Watts. My man was out here until the day he passed away. So, and I believe my man is he with me. He every step of the way. And before, if you're not doing nothing this weekend, Tokyo to Rio, the one and only Dick Gregory. That's a documentary that came out in 2021. I'm in that documentary. I just got a little bit in there. I should have been longer, but it's enough in there so you'll see me. And then I promise next week I will do a live on my time with Mr. Gregory. It's gonna be a good one too. Yeah, I think he went to SIU. I think he graduated from there. Yeah, he was in Illinois. He's from St. Louis, but he must have always wanted to come to Chicago, and cause he came straight here, but he went to college here, a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, but his start here. I remember, man. I'll tell you all this stuff when I do my live with him. Yeah. That's gonna be a good one. Yeah. Thank you for I be thinking nobody ever want to hear them stories. I'm like, do anybody want to hear my stories about Dick Gregory? But I guess y'all do. So that makes me happy because he's a special guy, and He got me out here on this fight. And I have a podcast called Dick Gregory Taught Me. I actually got to call my sound engineer, Al, and see if I can record one before the end of November. If not, definitely December. But yeah, I've got 14 episodes. My first episode, I do speak about Dick Gregory. And I speak about this situation with my mom's case and all that. It's like an hour and a half, 2 hours, that podcast. It's called the Dick Gregory Taught Me podcast. But that's a good one, too, you can listen to as well. So, yeah. Well, yeah, I'll be back next week when I talk about that. So, yes. Well, I hope that you enjoyed my live tonight. I know it was Friday. Thank you for the ones who listened. And I'll be on live tomorrow with somebody else, their podcast thing that they're doing. Patrice, she's part of my group too. She does taxes and stuff, tax cred, Patrice Stewart on YouTube and stuff like that. But we're doing a podcast tomorrow, and I think with Danny C. If y'all don't follow Danny C. But yes, Patrice is the money person in our group. She is the person who follows the money. She knows how to do the taxes. She knows about the tax liens, anything like that.